Hey guys, so I may be a little late for the party for this one, but I wanted to do this video for a long time, and I wanted to get my facts straight before. So I'm going to be talking about Alan Moore today. Now, if you don't know who Alan Moore is, he's a comic book writer. He wrote The Watchmen, From Hell. He wrote many books. My favorite probably being 1963, which actually was a comic book series what never was finished. I'll get into that later. So yes, I wanted to talk about Alan Moore today for a number of reasons. I guess the first reason is Alan Moore was the guy I think got me into comic books. I used to look at The Watchmen and I used to think to myself, this is amazing. Now, I was into superhero comics way before Alan Moore, but I think The Watchmen showed me comic books can be more than just kid stuff. You know what I mean? It could be artistic and profound and all that stuff. And I wanted to sort of talk about Alan Moore and his controversies and all that different stuff. So, basically, Alan Moore, he's like, what's interesting about him, he actually believes in magic. And when I say magic, I don't mean like a guy who pulls rabbits out of his hat. No, he believes in like divine sort of Aleister Crowley type magic. Now, he's from that kind of 1960s counterculture movement where he comes from. And a lot of people find that kind of weird, but me personally, I think it's interesting. I'm kind of into that kind of, I wouldn't say magic, but I'm kind of into that kind of spiritual stuff, trying to figure out who we are and where we come from and all that stuff. So that's kind of interesting to me. Now, going to this work, he got some controversy lately, which I think was misunderstood. He got some controversy lately when he talked about comic book fans. He said basically, in quote, he said something like, okay, comic book movies is a little upsetting and not a little worrying. Basically saying, it's weird that these comic book superheroes were meant to fill the imagination of 15-year-old boy, 12-year-old boys, I mean, or 12-year-old anybody, were basically turned into these big movie agrominies. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not going to say I agree with him because I am a comic book fan. But at the same time, I have to say he kind of has a little bit of a point. At least on turning comic books into a whole gromedy thing. Which kind of started with cartoons, if you think about it, back in the 60s. When these comic books were turned into these kind of Saturday morning cartoons, it just got so commercialized anymore, and it just, I don't know. I think he kind of has a point, even if I don't agree with all of it. Another thing he got controversy for was, well, he's known to the comic book business as somebody who's very hard to work with. And I never met the guy, so maybe that's true. I don't know. The reason why they say he's very hard to work with because he uses these weird big metaphors on knife, and he likes his characters to be so complex, and the artist has to get that right or fired, basically. I don't know. I just think it's, I don't know. But if you haven't checked out Alan Moore, I do allow you to do so. Even though I will admit his work may not be totally for everybody, but I think he's an interesting enough writer. You know, you could find something interesting about him. I would go to the Watchmen first just to see where he started. Actually, but if you want a more wider book from him, check out 1963. What that is, 1963 is kind of a spoof, parody, moulage, pastiche, whatever you call it, on 1960s Marvel. Now, he worked with that back in Image, this comic book company named Image, and it's really awesome. It's a six book series. And basically, if you like Marvel, you're going to love that. It even has fake advertisements and fake weather pages, you name it. You name it. The only bad thing about that book is it was never finished. Because, for many reasons, Alan Moore got less interested. Rick Beach, who was kind of one of the artists on the book, kind of got busy. So yeah, I wanted to just talk about Alan Moore and his many controversies. So let me know what you think about Alan Moore if you know him, and just let me know. Me personally, I think 80s comics wouldn't be the same about him, and even though you could make an argument it kind of ruined superhero comics, heck, Alan Moore would probably agree with you. I would argue at the same time it was so important to kind of show comic books can be an art form. So have a good day and bye.